because sex is very basic. It's real
Undeniably, it
basic.
really is. It really
It's
is.
real simple. It doesn't, I don't know how I've built a career talking about it because it's real basic, right?
Two plus two equals four.
Right. That's it. That's it. End of class.
You're
Salam
disgraceful.
alaikum. Drive home safely, right?
Let's fast forward. Let's talk about this 10 years in,
Mhm.
17 years in, right? I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you what your thoughts are, or what you've been seeing, or what has worked in terms of keeping the flame alive. So yes, you're committed to each other, you love each other, you have a family together and everything, but it's kind of dead in the bedroom.
Mhm.
What's going on?
I was talking to a friend of mine, Halima Taha. Mashallah, she's my sister. We were seeing a Broadway show, my very first Broadway play. She surprised me with tickets, and we're sitting waiting, and we were talking about how she was raised and how her mother put her through, sex ed classes and just really gave her a transformative upbringing. And she was talking about the ways in which I'm raising my daughter and how she felt that that was good. And she said, "Isn't it nice that women get to be owners of so many different bodies in one lifetime?"
Mm.
We have our body before puberty. We have our body
Mm.
during puberty. We have our body before childbirth. And even if we don't choose to have babies, we have our body as we move into menopause. It's all these iterations of the same form.
Mm.
And as she was talking about it, I was thinking about sex is like that in a marriage. Right? You have
100%.
all of these different iterations of
Mm.
different bodies and different moods, and how it can become boring because sex is very basic. It's real
Undeniably, it
basic.
really is. It really is.
It's real simple. It doesn't, I don't know how I've built a career talking about it because it's real basic, right?
Two plus two equals four.
Right. That's it. That's it. End of class.
You're
Salam
disgraceful.
alaikum. Drive home safely, right? But when you've been in a marriage long term, I think so. First of all, being in a marriage long term, there's really no formula for desire. It's
Mm.
choosing your partner again and again, every day, waking up and saying, "I choose you," even when I don't like you, and it's okay because sometimes you don't like your partner. Sometimes you're like, "Why are you breathing like that? Why are you chewing like that? Why do your feet smell like that?" All right. And then I have to have sex with this person, but it's boring. It's boom, 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 right? We get into cycles of maintenance sex. So that's why I really encourage Muslim couples who have fit into sort of one of three categories. They've been married to each other for a long time. They were married to other people for a long time, got divorced, and then came together again. Or people who lived a life prior to Islam where they had sex with other people and then they get married. So these are all people who have different levels of experience. I invite them to explore. I think exploration is important, and I think communication is important. It's important to talk about the rut before it happens because you can feel when a sexual rut is about to happen. You
Mm.
feel it. The sex becomes less frequent.
Mhm.
You start to resort to your greatest hits playlist. I know if I touch you here and I blow on this part and I kiss you in
Greatest
this
hits
way,
playlist. Oh no.
it's like the greatest hits. Okay, let's play track 1, 7, and 4. Right? I know that this is going to get us to but that becomes boring. No one wants to eat the same thing every night. So exploring is important. Think about the way that you might prepare a chicken. You can fry it, you can fricassee it, you can stew it, you can do all these things. Look at sex the same way. And that's where we get into things like kink, use of costuming and fantasy and toys and other things, all staying within the confines of Islam. Because the hope is that if you've been together that long,
Mm.
that you know that what you're doing is not transgressing the bounds of the religion.
Mhm.
You're comfortable enough with your own body and you're comfortable enough with your partner's body that now you can start to play. And playfulness is a part of our deen also, right? From Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know that he was very playful with his wives. So in long-term marriages, it's very important to do the research and find out. You can even look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What did he do with his wives? Right? The ahadith are very explicit in their detail in
Mhm.
how he approached foreplay, how he was very romantic, mashallah.
Mhm.
Looking at that, and then looking at what is available out on the global marketplace right now that can bring us pleasure in our relationship. You
Mm.
know, can we have dom sub scenarios within our marriage? Is that okay? Like, is that something that we can try? Communicating and talking about that with your partner. Are there certain toys that you want to use? Non-insertive toys, lubricant. Do you want to try that? I think talking about sex, couples who talk about sex have better sex.
Okay, so that's a really big teaching point, and I'm wondering how many of the viewers have conversations about sex with their spouse, right? Is that something that should be happening on a regular basis, do you think? Is that just general relationship maintenance? Like, what are we talking here? Hey, we need to have a sex conversation. Put it in the diary. Come, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yes, there's actually a study. I can't think of the name of it. It just came out. It's a study on couples who have good sex, and one of the things that they talked about is scheduling sex. I'm a huge fan of scheduling sex. I'm a huge fan
Mm.
of scheduling sex talks, and I'm a huge fan of having sex talks outside of the bedroom. I work in a nonprofit. Anybody who works in business will tell you you have to meet your quarterly profit margins. You have your monthly reports. You should have the same thing for your marriage. You have to run your marriage like an organization. Okay, you have date night, that's fine. Once a week, bi-weekly, once a month, we're going to talk about sex. In fact, there's a book called A Sex Journal, and that is specifically what it is for, where you can talk about what did I enjoy, what do I want to see us do more of? It's a very positive, strengths-based approach. I think couples should talk about sex and make it regular. And let that be the boring part. Let talking about sex be the mundane part, not the actual sex. Let the third Tuesday of the month, okay, here she comes. She's gonna talk about what we gonna do now. Okay, what positions we gonna try this week? Okay, all right. Let that be the part, because talking about sex, what it does is it normalizes it as an important part of the conversation. We talk about bills, we talk about the kids' education, we talk about mortgage, we talk about
Makes
taking trips
sense.
to Umrah. So why not talk about sex? Because that is, whether we like it or not, sex is one of the core foundations of marriage. So it needs to be given its own space and time to discuss and explore.